Hello guys, so in the last week I released 2 new games and I wanted to show some things I learned and what the process of making these games was like. And I know in the last video I made a promised animation tutorial, but since these tutorials videos take a lot of time to make, I decided to release them every 2 weeks, and in every other week I will release a less scripted video showing something I learned or something what I've been through in the last week and things like that. So the first game I released in the past week was Scrapboy, and it actually is a new version of a game I created for Game Maker's Toolkit Jam, and it simplifies a lot of things the last version overcomplicated. So let me show you the first version. So this is the first version of the game. It was created in just 2 days, and the main focus of this game was to create the best looking game I possibly could for the jam, because I was feeling that some of the games I made wasted a lot of potential not looking super great. They look good, but they could look always better, and so I wanted to test how far improving graphics could bring my games. So the theme of the jam was out of control. So I came with the idea that to create a Mega Man-like game, but you can't control when you swap your power-ups. So the power-ups will swap automatically when the bar on the lower left corner depletes or when you get hit. As you can see, I have this chargeable power now and the bomb, and once the bar depletes I will swap to bomb, which is immune to spikes. Now I get the jet power up, can dash in all 8 directions, and very high mobility. And now the boomerang, which can be thrown in any direction and jumps higher. And now I'm already halfway through the game. Magnet can stick to walls and suck enemies, and there's the last power-up, which is the jetpack or whatever. Let's take the damage, which can fly indefinitely, and there's a super laser that auto-aims into enemies. Like that and like that. So the main problem with this game is that by the time you figure out how to use all these power-ups, which is a lot of power-ups for such a short game, the game is already over, and it's basically too overwhelming for a jam game this short. So, but in any case, I accomplished my goal of having a very good looking game. It got ranked 17 out of more than 5,000 entries, so it's in the first page of the game jam if you rank them by presentation. It got decent results in fun, 196, and overall the overall score was kinda decent, still top 10%, and it kinda lacked in originality because it's mostly a Mega Man-like game, with the new mechanic being something that doesn't really change the game core. So I think it's a fair result, but in any case, I got what I aimed for, which was presentation. So in the new version, my focus was to simplify by removing the kind of confusing mechanic of swapping powers all the time, and to make the game longer so you have more time to get used to each power-up. You also have 3 difficulty levels. The star means you already finished the game in this difficulty. The little ball means you finish the game getting all collectibles, and the time means your best time in the time attack mode. In the time attack mode, once you die once, the game resets. So you have a lot of difficulty options, and the game is also a lot longer, so you have more time to get used to each new mechanic. And I also introduced some new mechanics, like in level 3. Let me change to level 3. Like in level 3, you have these dark rooms. And you can light up the rooms by shooting these wires, and also shooting will show a light circle around the shot, so you can explore the room with your shots like that. So you can see how important it is to give the player time to learn new mechanics, and it's something not that easy to do in small games like these games we make for itch.io and game jams, where you shouldn't really have too many mechanics being introduced all the time. It's much better to have one central mechanic and giving it new twists with every new level and things like that. So that's exactly what we did with Stuck in the Sewers. This game we made I made it with my brother for Ludum Dare. He actually came up with the design himself and made the levels, and I added graphics and animations and lots of details. So in this game, as you can see, it's a puzzle game where exiting in a pipe will leave you in the pipe of the opposite side. And the second level, you can keep exploring and slowly learning to figure out the logic behind it. Third level, again, the green pipes, and so you have a lot more time to figure things out. And in the fourth level, so if I stand here, I enter this pipe. The natural thing for me to expect is to live in the pink pipe, but what happens actually is, instead of going to the opposite side, it goes sideways. It's a nice twist to the central mechanic, and so on. So there are other colors that are introduced later and some nice twists, and I think it's a better overall experience for a game jam because it introduces things in a way that it doesn't become overwhelming for a short jam game. I don't want to show you more of this game because you have to play it for yourself, otherwise it will spoil the experience. You can see how different the overall approach was in these two games. Scrapboy is very unfocused. It's a platformer with power-ups, but these power-ups have weird things triggering the power-ups being swapped, and I'm sure a lot of people finished the game without even figuring out how the mechanic works unless they read the description. And in contrast with Stuck in the Sewers, much simpler game, easier to figure out. You know, people that play these web games usually expect to figure out the mechanics very naturally, don't want to spend time reading descriptions, just want to play a short game and move on. And if someone spends just 10 minutes playing your game and moves on, it doesn't mean it has to be a bad thing, as long as it was a good experience. Also, this little puzzle game has a pretty cool ending. The story is about a mouse lost in the pipes trying to get to the beach, so I don't want to spoil it, but I think it's worth it for people who get to the ending. I polished a lot the ending, so it feels very rewarding. That's it for today. In the next video I will go back to tutorials. Next tutorial is animation, probably then visual effects, music, sound effects, and in between the tutorial videos I will release some videos showing what I've been doing, what I've learned, and hopefully start a nice conversation about game design. If you like this video, maybe show it to your friends, someone that likes game design too. And that's it for today. See ya!